United Gangs of America Season 2, Episode 9 is a jaw-dropping, gritty, deep dive into the world of the Black Guerrilla Family, BGF, one of the most violent and secretive prison gangs in America. The episode pulls no punches, opening with a warning about extreme violence and offensive language, and immediately plunges viewers into the chaos of Bloody Wednesday, a notorious riot at Pelican Bay State Prison in California. This is not just a story about gangs. It's a story about power, corruption, and the way criminal organizations can shape entire cities from the inside out. The episode begins on a rainy morning in Pelican Bay, setting the stage for a day that would go down in history. The yard is tense, with Hispanic gang members, the Serranos, preparing for a showdown with the Black Guerrilla Family. The Serranos, controlled by the Mexican mafia, have been stockpiling homemade shanks and outnumber the black inmates 2-1. At 9:30 a.m., violence erupts. Cameras capture inmates chasing and stabbing each other, tear gas canisters explode, but the fighting continues. Miguel Sanchez, a Serrano, stabs a rival before being shot dead by a guard. After 30 minutes, officers rush in with batons and pepper spray, leaving dozens injured. This brutal riot is just the tip of the iceberg. The episode explains how the BGF saw an opportunity in the chaos to recruit new members, using the principle, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." The BGF is everywhere and nowhere, operating in the shadows and blending in with other gangs. Their goal is to be unseen but felt, controlling neighborhoods and prison yards with ruthless efficiency. The show then traces the history and structure of the BGF. Founded in California, the BGF is notorious for its violence against corrections officers, having killed 11 staff members over the years. Their crimes are not hidden. They happen in broad daylight, under city cameras, making the BGF a poison to any community they touch. The gang's bread and butter is organized crime, drug dealing, homicide, extortion, robberies, and more. What sets the BGF apart is their policy of dual gang citizenship, allowing members to keep their affiliations with other gangs like the Crips or Bloods, while secretly taking the BGF oath. The BGF's constitution is shrouded in secrecy, broken into scraps of paper and memorized by members. The most chilling part is exemplary punishment. If a member uses heroin, runs from a fight, or betrays the gang, they are murdered. The BGF's chain of command is strict, with commanders, lieutenants, ministers of finance, sergeants at arms, and the Bushmen, a board of governors overseeing local bubbles or chapters. The episode introduces key figures in the BGF's expansion. Ray Olivas brings the gang from California to Maryland, recruiting charismatic and strategic leaders like Eric Brown, Ebe. Ebe becomes the shot caller in Maryland, running the prison system with free rein and charging other gangs for the right to operate. Corrections officers are bribed or threatened into cooperation, and Baltimore becomes the epicenter of the BGF's power. The BGF's influence spreads beyond prison walls. Ebe and Ray write The Black Book, a guide to community improvement that is actually a Trojan horse for criminal activity. Civic leaders and educators are fooled by the book's positive message, unaware of its true purpose. But in 2009, a photograph of Ebe with a cell phone and cigar in prison tips off the feds, who launch a secret task force to take down the BGF. The investigation uncovers a web of corruption, with sex and money used to co-opt corrections officers and smuggle drugs and phones into the Baltimore City Detention Center, BCDC. The inmates are running the asylum, and the BGF's founder, George Jackson, is immortalized as a revolutionary who masterminded deadly attacks on corrections officers. The gang's original goals of revolution and government overthrow are corrupted into chaos and violence. By 2010, the feds drop the hammer. EB and Ray are indicted under RICO, catching 12 and 11 years respectively. The BGF's ability to peddle poison and violence is crippled, but the gang adapts. Todd Duncan takes over as citywide commander, but the real power lies with Kim McIntosh, a single mother and healthcare worker who becomes a rising shot caller. Kim runs BGF operations from her office, planning drug deals in retaliation while serving clients at her day job. Her influence is so great that even Todd Duncan defers to her. Kim's reign is short-lived. Ray Olivas spreads rumors to diminish her power, and the feds eventually raid her home and office, finding heroin, BGF documents, and bulletproof vests. Kim pleads guilty to racketeering and gets 5 years, but her cunning and belief in the organization are unmatched. The episode then shifts to the nightmare of BCDC, a decaying jail where young female corrections officers are drawn into the BGF's orbit. Samantha, one such officer, starts smuggling contraband and becomes involved with Taven White, aka Bulldog, who takes control of the jail. Taven's approval is required for everything, and inmates pay big bucks for goods from the outside. The corruption is so deep that even COs get tattoos to show their affiliation. Taven's empire grows, but his arrogance leads to his downfall. Wiretaps catch him bragging about profits and discussing criminal activity. He fathers children with multiple corrections officers, and in 2013, a federal grand jury indicts 13 COs and 24 BGF members on RICO charges. Taven cooperates with the government, becoming a key witness, but his reputation as a snitch follows him for life. Samantha pleads guilty and gets 2 years, while BCDC is shut down and demolished in 2015. With BCDC gone, the BGF shifts its epicenter to the Greenmount neighborhood in Baltimore, a 15-block radius of boarded-up houses and rampant violence. The Greenmount regime is led by Kenneth Jones, a slaw, and Marquis McCann, D.G.A. Stone, cold killers responsible for robberies, murders, and extortion. Their loud and violent crimes draw the attention of law enforcement, leading to their eventual arrest and the downfall of the regime. The episode ends with a reflection on the BGF's legacy. What started as a counter-culture movement inspired by the civil rights era devolved into chaos and corruption. The BGF's belief system is rooted in revolution and distrust of government, but their actions have left lasting damage on communities across multiple states. The gang continues to operate, morphing and evolving to stay under the radar, but the impact of their violence and corruption will be felt for years to come. United Gangs of America Season 2, Episode 9 is a gripping, unflinching look at the rise and fall of the Black Guerrilla family. Through interviews with current and former gang members, law enforcement, and victims, the episode exposes the innermost workings of one of America's most dangerous gangs. It's a story of power, betrayal, and survival, showing how criminal organizations can shape entire cities and leave scars that never heal.